Are we live? Oh, here we go. Surprise live stream, everybody, because I was writing some stuff down, going through some things, and discovered that I have not updated the Mr. Welch list on YouTube in quite some time, despite the fact that I have actually added quite a bit to the list. And I figured you guys might want to, hear more stuff about the list. Kind of doing this completely spontaneous. Got a spare evening that I can spend time talking about this. Also, we've got a little bit of Mystara news. Nerd Immersion, probably the best D&D news site on YouTube, was talking about he was at Gen Con and he was able to talk to some people about all the new settings coming out. They've got Greyhawk, they've got Eberron, they've got Ravenloft, and it's like, okay, that's nice. I mean, they're okay settings. I mean, they're not the best, obviously. But he got to ask questions, and he specifically asked about, of all things, Mystara and Ghostwrite. And the answer he got back was that they're seeing how the settings go, and if the other settings can show to prove that they're popular, then they will actually start looking at them, but we have to get loud. Now, of course, my first question is, Spelljammer, which got an official release, ran from, I think, 88 to 89, and that was it. It got one video game. It got some novels. They were okay. And but it's still 88 to 89. Mystara ran from, depending on how you look at it, either 82 to 95 or 86 to 95. So slightly more than just 2 years of a setting that they, half-assed, and also a setting that was only around for a fifth of the time that Mystara was, at minimum. And it's like, we all know what they did wrong with Spelljammer, and they just kind of threw it out there, and it was small. But if we make a lot of noise, and I did ask Ted, how do we make some noise? What kind of noise do they want? And does this include air horns outside their house at 3 o'clock in the morning? He hasn't responded back yet. But there's always that. So that's the good news for the Mystara. At least they admit we exist finally. They also mentioned Ghostwrite, but sadly no Birthright. So, they still haven't gotten the time skip. They still haven't got the time skips done yet. But I mean, hey, they're talking about bringing back. They're talking about bringing back Dark Sun, and they still haven't got the psychic rules right. They've never got the psychic rules right. Maybe second edition. I'm familiar with Hyperborea, but I have not played it. But here, let me give you the Mr. Welch list for the games that I did play. See if you can spot which of the games in the my Mad Musings that these numbers apply to. So let me bring it up. Damn, I got too much cat hair around here. It made me cough. All right, quick drink real quick. Okay, here we go. Starting with things Mr. Welch can no longer do in a role-playing game. Number 2651. The following are not allowed in my wheelchair: jump jets, superchargers, swangas, IFF, self-destruct buttons. 2652. Can't merge our combat wheelchairs into a more powerful combat wheelchair. 2653. No turning Curse of Strahd into the Battle of Kursk. 2654. Even if the rules allow it, strapping myself to a wheelchair does not improve my mobility. 2655. Nobody gets a wheelchair if they can walk just fine. 2656. Eventually the towel will stop falling for the fake group hug trick. 2657. I will not question my superior's officer's orders, even if he did just assign the Arctic Trooper to our mission in Belize. 2658. We are not recreating any one of the 4 succession wars using just mobility aids. 2659. Obtaining the traditional dwarven weapon by forging it is fine. Obtaining the traditional gnomish weapon by mixing bleach and ammonia, not so much. 2660. Tech priests don't have swimsuit contests. 2661. The solution to the zombie apocalypse is not making donuts in a steamroller. 2662. Can't punish the annoying tiefling with a squirt bottle filled with holy water. 2663. The grease spell has no recreational use. 2664. Can't carry a pocket version of Trivial Pursuit around, so I can just fill up on my hope points as necessary. 2665. No hiding a trained badger in my beehive haircut. 2666. Contrary to what ChatGPT says, I do exist. 2667. Contrary to what ChatGPT says, I am not Legion. Yeah, don't go Googling yourself on ChatGPT. 2668. The gnomes do have a word for war crime. 2669. My cleric can't cast Speak with Dead to get rules clarifications directly from Gygax. 2670. Before we go investigate the abandoned colony outpost, can't have the HVAC guy blow out the air vents first. 2671. Instead of sending an entire squad of Marines unarmed to see if the poorly lit confined room is an ambush, can't just send in the disposable android first. 2672. If the disposable android has safely made it to the landing zone, I can't send the rest of the squad after him so that we're not trapped there later. 2673. Redheads are not immune to the Dimlich's primary attack. 2674. If our vehicle is destroyed trying to get away from the monsters, we're supposed to bunker down at the adventure location, not take the alternate vehicle we saw parked outside when we pulled up. 2675. It's not my fault the guy who wrote this module didn't take into account 30 years of technological advancements when the RPG about it finally came out. And actually, I do believe I have some additional stuff. Let me see. What did we do with the additional stuff? Live Journal. I think the only reason Live Journal still exists is because of the Mr. Welch list. I don't even speak Russian. Nimpovrskva. That's all I know. It means I speak a little Russian. At least I think it does. Let me see. There's only 5 more because I really don't have time to game because of my crazy job schedule. But here we go. 2676. When told to approach the problem with positive energy, they didn't mean with the business end of jumper cables. 2667. After assuring the GM I am not basing my character description on Burt Reynolds, I will not proceed to finish describing Vincente. 2678. Even if the rules allow it, I cannot make an attack roll using my pediatric medicine skill. 2679. I will not honor the god of irony by using the evil domain only for good. And 2680. No using the Simulacrum spell to throw gladiator games I'm part of. And I just found some typos. Wow, I hate typos. Yeah. What was it? The most important thing I learned from cons for the Spanish language was it mi culpa contrataste por la contrataste por fuck it. Not gonna worry about it. I'll remember it later. It was basically how to say my fault. It was my fault. You hired the hooker with the heart problem in Spanish. So yeah. So that is what is going on. Big news with Welcome to Mystara, is we'll just turn this into a free form. No, don't save that. The big news for Welcome to Mystara, I have talked to the guys over at the Vault of Pandius. And I don't know if anybody has looked at the free Mystara lately, but we have linked all of the Threshold magazines. We also have the top 5 PDFs that are also linked. Let me see. Yeah, mi colpa, my fault. Contrataste la prostituta con cardiaco problema. O problema cardiaco. I don't know a lot of Spanish. So, we are turning Welcome to Mystara into basically the Nexus for Mystara. I've got to work on an introduction video, and I'm going to try to do that. This weekend since I have some time. I also don't know how to say. Was it peligro por ahale hambre lobos en mi baños? Danger, there is a werewolf in my bathroom. Yeah. let me see. What was the? So I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to make the video. I'm trying to make a video as I'm writing it. Something short, something quippy, but showcasing why you need to look at Mystara. And of course, why not go with all the movies that showcase different cool, awesome things about the various cultures. What is this? Engage with my audience. Oh, members only live stream. Well, I can. Yeah, but that'll turn everybody off. So the only problem with that is there's like one Serbian folk hero that they have that they've made a movie for, and they've made 2 movies, and one of them is awful, and it's also in Turkish. Yeah. There is another one. It's like I'm assuming they're good. I can't tell you because my Serbian is non-existent. I worked my ass off today. Our number 1 client has been moving, and they were, I work in logistics, so there's, it's not exactly the most glamorous job. So our number 1 client has been moving, and they're a warehouse. And what happened was they're supposed to be finished today, and they told everybody they're opening. They're going to be back in business today, and everything gets out of there. And they weren't ready yet. Oh my God, they were not ready yet. So what happens is they tell everybody that they're ready yet, and then everybody calls in and places orders. Except the main office isn't nowhere near, so they have to do it to all the satellite stores, and they got to move everything out of the satellite stores. Well, the satellite stores didn't know that they weren't ready, and they weren't ready for all the clients that suddenly had to get the stuff out of the satellite stores. Oh my God! So we had to take care of that. So running around all day today. So they're. Yeah, Wizards is finally outsourcing, which is probably a good thing. But Keith Baker has moved on from Eberron, so he's not going to be taking part in that. Luke Gygax has probably got 10,000 pages written. If he's anything like me, it was like, hey, can you give us we're in a hurry. Can you write us a Mystara module real quick for our adventure? It's like, yeah, sure. How soon do you need it? As soon as possible. Okay. Pick a number between 1 and 10,000. Okay, yeah. I was like, 8,642. Yeah, okay, here we go. We got one here. All right, yeah. I just happened to have one ready for you. And I'm hoping the Big Texas Forage hat. That's right here. Whoa! Let us not drop the Alternity miniatures. Yeah, there's the Forage hat. But people know me best for the Cav hat. But the wife got me the Forage hat for Father's Day. Oh, there's a problem there. There's another problem there. Hey. Hello, Jolly. Yeah, well, I wanted to get... sometimes when you're writing and you want to get the writing done and it gets piled up in your head and you have to get it out. And you just... There you go. Looking at... Ichi, you feeling okay, buddy? No? Wife's out of town. So, Ichi is sulking. Thank you. Alternative. Yeah, I did my alternative review when I sold the books because I don't have a lot of room for stuff. I've been trying to sell other books. It wasn't Alternative. It was the Infinity miniatures. Somebody convinced me to play Infinity. I got my army. I got my Ariadne going. Was ready to go. I showed up, and everybody decided they didn't want to play anymore. And that was the end of the Infinity scene in Texas, or at least in North Houston. Fortunately, Ariadne you can double up with 20 Twilight 2000, which I have quite a few of them. I have quite a few of that one, though I don't have any of the adventures. Which is probably a good thing, because all the adventures for Twilight 2000 are for like 1.0, which was a percentile-based system. And all the good books are 2.2 or 2.0, 2.2. I prefer 2.2. God, that's an unforgiving game. But if you want to be a simulationist, there's nothing better. Hopefully I'll be able to try to get the Godbound that I have been trying to work on for forever. You know how hard it is to get people to play God games? It's like, hey, play this game with me. You're going to be a demigod. It's like, okay. It's like, do we just punch mortals and they explode, and then we face other stuff and they hurt us? Yeah, that's about it. That's how that works. Let me see. I'm trying to get the knock out another 15 pages of knock out another 15 pages of the DMG, so I can actually get to working on the stuff that I want to work on. Well, the Godbound, well, I wouldn't say it's solid, because my book fell apart in 2 weeks, so the binding's not great. But people, it takes a lot. It takes certain people that want to play super high level games from the get go. All right, you know, you're playing Godbound. You can squish mere mortals. Exalted, it also borrows very heavily from Exalted. They have all of the same type of godlings that Exalted has, but they're called something else, and they don't have the. You're not Solars. You're not Sidereals. You're not Lunars. You're the Godbound equivalent of those things. And it's a specific game for specific players. And it can be challenging, because how do you challenge people when you start off at epic level? I mean, these guys can actually stand a chance against third level D&D 5e players or characters. One issue with Godbound is it seems to be a dead game. It's only one book away from being a one book wonder. I have looked to see if they've had any expansions. They've only had the one, and that was 6 years ago. So I think Godbound might be gone. Let me see. And what's after that one? After that one, I've got Demon the Fallen, which is... I mentioned that in the last stream, but I have been reading up on the Demon, and I've been talking to my friends that did play it, and it is of the World of Darkness games, it is definitely the let's hurry up and get this done so we can start making stuff that we want to make. I'm waiting to see if they're going to send me the new RPG version for Record of the Lotus Wars, which is the one that's tied into Mystara, so I have to actually like anime for once, or at least pretend I do. Smile and nod, smile and nod. Somebody just sent me some Big Eye Small Mouth to review, because you guys like watching me suffer. I mean, I watched the 45-second trailer for Dark Sun, and I did riff it. I absolutely riffed it. There wasn't much to riff. It's only 45 seconds, and it looked like just an edgy anime. Ed Notori. Yeah, it's I'm not saying Godbound is a bad game. I'm saying the genre that Godbound is trying to get has very few players. It's a hard sell for a DM. Yeah, that is Sword World. I just couldn't remember the name of the RPG that they made into Record of Lotus War. And it was because they wanted to do Mystara in Japanese, and they got told no, so they did their own campaign. And it became Record of Lotus Wars, and they made 2 RPGs about it. And they're like the biggest, for the longest while, they were the biggest RPGs in Japan. My preference is no anime. I didn't even like the. I really, especially didn't like the Edge Runners anime that everybody was telling me you got to watch it. You love Cyberpunk. Shit, you've worked for Artal Sorian. You've done work. You've done contract work for them. And it's like, yeah, but all these characters are fucking annoying. Yeah, it's like Lotus Wars. When he's like, what's your favorite? What is your? What's the name? What's the? Today is like, what's your favorite race and species, and what's your favorite class? It's like, well, I'm a tiefling warlock. And what about you? Tiefling warlock. What about you? Elf and elf. But I mean, if you've ever seen the Japanese some of the Japanese Mystara books, like, those guys put some love into making those books. The Alfheim book, they actually turned it into a box set rather than an actual book. They made it all anime. And it was just... I'll give them props. They made it pretty. But humans are fighters. Or they're mages, but they're still humans. Yes. So, no, I've been trying to catch up. It's just been... I did my my memberships. I still have some. I feel really guilty about not actually doing some. I give the art... I show all the members the art first before they get in it. And it's like, I need to do... The problem is, I need to do a video for them, but I don't want to leave everybody out. It's like, I love you guys. You guys watch my stuff, and you boost the signal. I wish YouTube would boost the signal, because I'm tired of having 15,000 subscribers and getting 1,000 views, even on my good stuff. Everybody wants to, I'm watching, the hate click channels get a bunch of stuff. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to talk about, what's next for Mystara, what people are doing. The new Threshold magazine is coming out, and I let them use I told them flat out they could open up and use the all the art from Free Mystara, because I own it. And it's like, if the finding art for Threshold magazine is one of the biggest bugaboo. Oh, Jesus. The Draconis, was it Draconis A. Naginata? No. I'm just talking about the Arcanum. Yeah. Are you talking about the RPG Arcanum or the computer game Arcanum? Because the RPG Arcanum I have on the shelf with multiple supplements right there. The computer game Arcanum from Troika, I really, 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 really wanted to watch. Oh my God! Oh, I so wanted to like that game, but it's a Troika game. It's a buggy mess. And that was we did come up with the thing. Is like, how do we want, if Wizards is going to open up Mystara? First off, everybody take a shot, because every time somebody's like, when are you guys going to get to that? When are you going to get to Mystara? Because now we're the, setting confirmed, because it used to be, for the longest, it's like, we're going to be making a new setting. Spelljammer confirmed. Okay, then they finally gave us Spelljammer after 2 years. Then they did Dark Sun confirmed. Now it's Mystara confirmed. The PC game was not based off of was nowhere near based off of the TTRPG Arcanum. The table Arcanum was pretty much Conan. It was very much, hey, we're going to do, we're going to, it's going to be Hyperborea with the serial numbers filed off. Oh yes. And that one was nobody trusts Wizards to do Mystara, but they got the guy that did all the interviews. They brought him back, and he was actually one of the popular people. They gave us Spelljammer in name only. Then they gave us Ravenloft with, they say, hey, we made changes to everything because we couldn't come up with our own Domains of Dread. So we just took the old ones and, race flipped, gender flipped, decided a few best friends were now gay, and you could hear the screams from Brazil when that day came up. Let me see. Ship-to-ship combat was actually in Ghosts of Saltmarsh, which they could have easily just cut and paste into Spelljammer. Word for word. That's all they had to do, and just add the Z-axis. But they couldn't be bothered. Yeah. They couldn't be bothered with the rules they'd already written. I mean, Jesus, you're an RPG company. Cutting and pasting from one book to another to add page count is a time-honored tradition. I haven't seen the Deathbringer RPG. I don't usually watch live plays because, well, they're nowhere near as good as what I'm used to, which is, well, me. If I get a chance to look at it, I'll definitely take a look at it. The guy that was talking about, the settings that they haven't done, the ones that were brought up, some of them they have mechanical issues that were, to be completely honest, did not work when they were original, which was the Ghostlight RPG, where you're basically having two classes and you're trying to keep your mortal class from being passed up by your ghost class. Birthright has the time skips. Yeah. Let me see. Theater of the Mind, when they did Spelljammer, they didn't do Theater of the Mind. They did something worse. They said, okay, when your two ships get close to each other, just have them ram together and then everybody jump across and fight it out. Because the ships move, pretty much every ship moves at the same speed. If they get within, I don't know how many miles of each other, they lock into play. They lock at the same speed, and you can't outrace another. It was just a terrible design all the way around. There was no shooting. There was no pirate stuff. There was no going up or down. It was just I'm surprised they have not brought back Gamma World, because Gamma World 4th edition was one of the highlights of the Gamma World. Even the people that didn't like 4th edition said it was fantastic for Gamma World. Al-Qadim, they have the problem with sensitivity readers going, that might offend somebody. Meanwhile, you've got the Persians and the Arabs is like, give me, my Aladdin. Give me my Saladin. I will have it. Yeah. Let's see. Well, they didn't even... Well, for Ghosts of Saltmarsh, they did the absolute minimum for naval combat. But they... the Gamma World fans fear Gamma World fans. And then... They had it. They had the rules. All they had to do was port them over. But it was only, what was it? It was 64. Yeah, it was 3 64-page books, because I had it. I had it for a while, and I think I finally sold it. It was 3 64-page books, and you can't do a DM book with 64 pages. The Etruscan book is 96 pages, and it's incomplete. Yeah, it's just... You guys are like, you gave us overthick cardstock. There was massive art. You could tell that they went with, I think, what was the cardstock? Almost 110. It's like an obscene number. It wasn't paper. You could shave with it. And it's like, so you got 64 pages of monsters, 64 pages of player rules and DM rules, and a 64-page adventure. You cannot make a source book for 64 pages. It's just not enough spaces. And it was just... They threw it on the DM. They throw everything on the DM. that was the biggest problem. Everything was, everything is like, oh, just the DM can wing it. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing the DMG, and we're like sitting there, it's like, okay, here is the Wilderness Survival Guide, here is the Dungeoneer Survival Guide. These were two of the crunchiest splat books ever made, which told DMs how to run exploration adventures to the nth degree. And there was. I mean, it was first edition, so they were crunchy as hell. You had to add milk before you read them. The Mr. Welch list, I believe, is 20 years old today. I think I first started it in 2006. Was working at Bison Building Materials, moving doors. And, that was a long time ago. Bison finally went away. God, you guys think I've had a rough time with the romances? I have a bad habit of jobs burning down, blowing up, washing away. And then Bison went away when the number one guy fired the number two guy. Number two guy took the client list with him. Went from 40 jobs a day to 4. Yeah. We're going into the DMG. It's like, okay, we're going to take whatever we can from the Wilderness and the Dungeoneer Survival Guide and said, hey, this is how you can actually adventure outside. Here's rules for diseases. Here's, rules for, survival. This is what you have to eat. Like I'm still keeping it 5e because 5th edition is just a mess. Like it's not selling well. They tell us it is, but I talk to people in stores and they offer me discounts on older books that are still sitting there. All right, some of these stores haven't moved anything. Or you get 12 limited edition books, and they've still got 9, 10, all of them. And they barely did anything with Spelljammer. They didn't give any of the background. They gave us the Rock of Brune. They didn't give us the actual Spelljammer. They didn't go into detail on Toral space, Orth space, Kryn space. They couldn't do Mystara space. Because then you freeze to death and suffocate. Your choice. When they told the Mystara crew that they had to update our setting to Spelljammer, they did malicious compliance and said, okay, well, since every crystal sphere has different rules, ours is freezing temperature with no air. So there you go, guys. And then they come up with the void ships. It's like, what's the void ships? It's like, you know what an aircraft carrier is? Because here's a picture of one. There's a picture of exactly one void ship, and I think it's the Nimitz. Thank you, Michael. Yes, I'm trying to get. I need to start pushing more on X because apparently that's where the Wizards of the Coast people hang out when they want to talk to the influencers. Which DMX was right. X is going to give it to you. And it's like, so yeah, I'm trying to work on aerial combat rules for ships. I need to get more on art. The art has kind of due to a lot of unexpected expenses, the art money has been repurposed for many other things that are necessary, like doctor bills, repair bills, a new windshield, because I somehow had caught 3 cracks in a very short amount of period. Rule Cyclopedia is amazing, especially because it's like $25 on drive-through. It's a hardback, and it's got all the rules. It's got all the monsters, all the treasures, the players. It's everything. It's the only complete D&D setting, or D&D rule set in one book. And it's just like, and they killed the Rule Cyclopedia when TSR came out with the Rule Cyclopedia. They released no adventures for it. And it's like, this is what... Hello. Uh, they didn't do, but I mean TSR was, they were trying to push out the Frank and the Mystara people. They wanted only one book. They only wanted one rule set, and it was just Vasislos. Ooh, yes, okay, Diok. Just messing with people's mind. And I eventually need to get to Gen Con. I want to try to get to Gen Con, but that's like $1,000. So I'll be saving up for that. Okay, random question since you're all here. I was looking at the old art that I originally had for the Player's Handbook. I'm thinking, what about the original art was the Baron and Bargle, and it was classic. It was probably one of the most famous pieces of art I had. I'm thinking about, what about if I just threw that up as an alternate cover if you ever wanted to print out the Player's Handbook? Yes, I would be losing the Rubus art, and I love Rubus, but it's like I spent money on the Rick Hershey stuff, so I might as well. I spent a little too much money on the Rick Hershey stuff, and the quality is kind of variable. But we've got the Morgan art, that's good. We've got the Baron and Bargle, that's good. And though the Morgan art is very much a Photoshop, and we think it's Sarah Michelle Gellar, but it could be somebody else. We're not really sure. But it's obvious that he Photoshopped it. And we've also got the one where the city of Serene, where the guy's herding his sheep and the city's flying through the valley. And that's just amazing. I'd have to do it. I was like, I don't know how many people are going to be getting the new or the Player's Handbook. I have updated it a few months ago. I think I mentioned it, but I don't know. I don't know if anybody was aware of that, but we completely gutted and rewrote the rules for the Secret Crafts of Magic. Rick Hershey's artwork is usually awesome. I didn't have a lot of money for Rick Hershey, so he gave me a Rick Hershey special, which was a lot of Photo Bash stuff. I'd have to look at see where the placement is, because originally the Morgan Ironwolf was going to be the cover art, so all of the surrounding, like Mystara, like 5th edition and all of that, it's like this would went around her perfectly. Might be able to do it with the Bargle. I certainly would not be able to do it with the Serene, because I'd be putting all of the words right over the city, which is not something that which would ruin the cover, which would ruin the image. So I've been buying a lot of art lately. Art budget is out for the time remaining. Got to go to the bank to get more money to sick cat, and we've been working with him, and he's losing weight. He's old. I'd love to do a lot of cons. I'd love to do North Texas, because I can drive there. Page, I've been invited to Page I don't know how many times. I mean, the Rick art, everybody loves the Baron and Bargle. That's probably the most famous of those three. I mean, hell, they use it. I use it as I use Bargle doing the for my thumbnail. So there's that. But the infamous meeting with with Frank, where he said to stick with Rubus, because Rubus is he liked Rubus's art better. Plus, we had an issue with the original art for the halfling. It was originally, she was sitting on a Malfera with an axe, and it looked awful. And then Misha did it, and we realized maybe that wasn't a very good idea. And then we also had Alina being brought back to life by the cleric, and she's doing the whole, her soul's coming back into her mouth, and it's like, it looked awful. And Misha did it, and it looked awful. And Rubus said, yeah, that's a stupid idea for a piece of art. Let's try something different. So we got Odin looking at Ulfdansen, or Ulfdan Bjornsson. So I need to start coordinating with people over, if this guy is serious about, they will start looking and talking about Mystara and unlimited adventures and all of that, or whatever the UAs. His words were, if we get loud. Now, we don't want to get obnoxious. We don't want to be, we don't want to be the Spelljammer people for a while, or where's my Buck Rogers? Okay, Lorraine, you already had your chance. Hey, Doug. And, like, when they talk about, when they hold their polls, when they do this, when they talk about it, it's like, what do you guys want to see? I gotta stay on top of that. I need to be more proactive with, the X account, and just like constantly bring up everything we've got. We've got to come up with, how do we want them to approach Mystara? I know. Everybody's going to say, we don't want them to approach it. But let's be realistic. We're not going to get, we are absolutely not going to get them to talk about Mystara or let us do Mystara unless we can give them something coherent about what we want. Well, shit. I was supposed to be in the Air Force. Hey, you're going to be like going in and say, yeah, we're going to recruit you into the Air Force, and you're going to be a translator because, you learn these languages pretty damn quick. And it's like standing in maps, and he's like, you want to explain all these scars on your legs? No. Well, you're going to have to. Yeah, that was the end of my military career. 15 minutes. And then I was buying my Welsh flag, and then somebody was like a big fan and at the store, and he gave me this hat as a way of saying thank you. So I will never claim that I was in the military. I can claim that I tried. I can claim a bunch of stuff. I mean, when the Coast Guard won't take you, yeah. But, torn Achilles tendon with a Z-cut lengthening repair surgery. Automatic disqualification. Yeah, okay, so a lot of the things that people agree on is we like the 1000 timeline. Forget Wrath, forget 1005. I know everybody loves 1005, and for some people it's canon. But my father's pulling a pension from the Coast Guard Reserve. I can't complain. They really don't like it when you compare them unfavorably to the Navy, but then again, they're the ones that can arrest you. So, things that we have to, things that I don't want to call them talking points, but things that we have to agree on, because they're going to want to shoehorn in all the 5th edition races, and it's just not going to, that's not Mystara. So, we look at what we need to do is look at Mystara and like what's the approach on it. And we get, we got to keep up the Cold War vibe. Now, we can extend the Cold War vibe as like, they're always making a big deal. They always make a big deal about the Hollow World. They make a big deal about the Immortals. They never get most of the facts right. But, yeah. But double down on that. Okay, so you've got this world that has no gods, that needs no gods. Really not sure how they're going to handle that with Dark Sun. Because all their gods are dead. So you have the Cold War vibe. You've got the gods wanting in, you want the immortals keeping them out. They don't trust anything from the outer planes. No upper planes, no lower planes. They don't want your angels any more than they want your demons. So a tiefling is going to get stared at, mightily suspicious. They don't, and you have we have the gods pissing off a lot of the other deities we have, like Sucket Corellian and all of that. We've got Gwyn ap Nuth, who absolutely hates Asmodeus, and his favorite thing to do to the guy is, when he runs across a tiefling, boom, I lift your curse, you're free to go. Well, in the player's handbook, Atomic Barbarian, in the player's handbook, I got rid of the races that wouldn't be in Mystara, but for every one that I got rid of, I replaced it with one that was local to ours. The Lupin, the Rakasta, the She, the Thanaton, and the Tortles, which they didn't have Tortles at the time, but they put Tortles in. We go to, we take the theme of Mystara, the theme of the known world, which is, hey, you've got a lot of really powerful people that are evenly matched with an enemy that's nearby. Fiatus versus Alphatia, Darrican versus Minrathad, Glantry versus Ethengar. All right, but then we take it and we expand it across the multiverse. The gods want the souls. Mystara souls don't go to the heavens and the hells; they get reincarnated, so they don't owe anything to the gods. If you promise your soul to Thanatos, you don't go to Thanatos world when you die. You just get kicked back at a later date. Is there any benefit to... the biggest benefit to enticing wizards into adopting Mystara is, in order to keep a setting relevant, you have to keep it in the spotlight. So that, nobody's talking about Jakandor anymore. Mystara has been going for a while, but the audience is older. We have to teach it ourselves. We're doing this. We don't have the reach of Wizards, is what I'm saying. Now, if Wizards comes out with Mystara and says, "Hey, here's this," people are going to go, "Okay, I like this." There are people that are brand loyal. We don't have to do all the work. And we can let the person that has all the money in the world do some of the work for us. That was the reason why I translated Mystara to 5th edition. Because now I've got new players playing a 30-year-old dead setting with the current rule set. We just got to keep it in the spotlight. We could have done this for 3rd edition, but they didn't hardly do anything for 3rd edition. They did what? Forgotten Realms, Greyhawk, Eberron, and that was it. That was absolutely it. There was I don't think Ravenloft got brought back in 3rd edition. So that's the reason why we want to get Wizards involved in this, because they can sell it better than we can physically. It's still going to be up to the players. Plus, we can bring up sales points to Wizards as well, which is boring, but that's the quickest way to get Hasbro's attention. It's like, hey guys, this is the most popular setting you have in Italy and Portugal and Spain and pretty much everywhere outside the U.S., because that was the one. Yeah, I'd love to do some online Mystara play, but I put out fires. I don't know when I'm going to be home at a reasonable hour. I don't have any set schedule that I can set up. I've missed so many live plays from other places that I'm really not invited back because, you know, the last time I was supposed to be, I think it was on supposed to be on Bears live stream, and I got sent to the south side of Houston at the last second. And you try to get from one side of Houston to another on rush hour in the rain. It's quicker to get from my house to Dallas, and Dallas is 300 miles away. The problem is, yes, I would love to do live streams. Hell, I'd love to do the Capcom beat 'em up, but I gotta get a schedule. I gotta be able to decide when I can do this. When I do these live streams, it's because, you know, like, I happen to have spare time. I could be writing, but I decided, you know, like, I had to get the Mr. Welch list written. I had to get the Mr. Welch list out there. Yeah, the White Wolf Ravenloft they did the fantastic job. They are doing a callback. The people that are doing the Ravenloft are approaching the Fraternity of Shadows. Now, who would want to reach out and do Mystara and not have it in Italian? That's a good question. From what I understand, the Council of Worms is one of the books that they mentioned that would be very difficult to translate into 5th edition because of the rules changes. It's just 5th edition doesn't do. They have problems in 5th edition trying to balance everything out. I was like, that's the reason why we don't have large races. Yeah, it's like that's why we have all of our centaurs are the size of Shetland ponies. Because that's a thing. See, I would rather create than substitute. People are like, okay, here's the stalwart. Well, we can just use Goliaths. Goliaths are mountain people. They have, you know, now they're stony mountain people. Stalwarts are sports-obsessed half-giants. Oh yeah, I was in contact with Bear the entire time. I let everybody know when they try to get me on that, hey guys, I am a definite maybe. I will do my best, but there is no guarantee that I am going to even be in this. I'm going to even be in this city at the end of the day, because if something breaks or we have a client that needs a problem solved, I'm the guy they're sending. It pays doing that pays very well, but it does make for a it plays holy hell on your gaming schedule. Yes, that was actually the Fraternity of Shadows did mention that, because I'm friends with Gabe over on Hour of the Raven, and wish Ravenloft Travel Agent would come back. I don't know what happened to her. She had a great channel, but no, it is a foul, because then when people are like, okay, who do we want for our guest, and it's just like, what about Mr. Welch? It's like, we got a 50-50 chance he's going to be available, even if he's got a, even if he schedules it. It's like, because I'll have a problem with, like, hey, I'm sitting down, I'm ready to go, and it's like, hey, we've got an emergency, you got to go get somebody. What are you going to do? You want to do if you're going to do a live stream, you really want to do one-shots just because of the scheduling. But, I mean, there's people that are doing the whole, hey, we're going to do this all. We're going to do all this at once. And we're going to have multiple videos. And like, okay, if you can do that, more power to you. None of you guys work in logistics. That's just not that's not an industry that having a stable schedule it vibes with. Oh, thank you, Michael. And they stole our Lupin. They turned him into Wolfman because, hey, now there's a werewolf creature. But all they did was reskin the Leonin. That's all they did. I guess, they've got the... They're like, okay, you've got dark vision. Okay. You've got a bark or a howl. Okay. You get some skills. Okay. And you get a bonus to unarmed attack. So you get like a bite. No. You got like claws or punchy stuff. It's like, okay, nobody goes to the hospital for dog scratches. That's not how dogs work. Yeah, I'd love to do a West March campaign or a Princess Arc campaign where you go to each of the different cities. Like, but you're gonna if Wizards of the Coast does Mystara or they have somebody do some Mystara, the biggest issue we're going to have is there's no way that they're going to be able to touch the expanded lore just from the original books. I mean, let's be honest. One of the reasons why Mystara was so much better than everybody else is our minimum, the minimum amount of information we got for each individual nation was 64 pages. All right. I think the most information you got on Baldur's Gate, the biggest setting in Forgotten Realms, was 3 pages. All right. So how are you going to take? Let's do some math real quick. Okay. 64. The 64-page books were Karamikos, Yalarum, Irindi. So 3. Okay, so that's 192 pages. So then that left us with 11 at 96. So for 10,056 pages, plus 192. Okay, without adding in Dawn of the Emperors, to have all the information that all the Gazetteer books had and put that in there. And it's going to be 1,248 pages. You could probably lose maybe 50 pages of that, getting rid of some redundant stuff like the skills. But still, that was the introduction to Mystara. Was the equivalent of 4 Forgotten Realms books. But they do have an outrageous French accent. So they'll lose a lot of the... If you're going to do a single Mystara book like the Player's Book, you're going to do a lot of generalizations. You absolutely couldn't be able to contain the Hollow World and the Red Steel. There's just not enough room. The Creature Crucibles, 96 pages each. Thank you, Chimera. And it's like they love their art. And oh my God, they love their art. That's all you get is art. You don't get anything with fluff. And it's like, and you look at the old WotC stuff from 3.5, and it was just like, where did these guys go? What happened? You guys were beautiful. You made some wonderful fluffy stuff. It was like let me see. Let's be honest. They do one of those adventure books from a star that they usually do, touch on a bunch of countries on a superficial level. Yeah, that's so. That's what we call Dragonlance these days. Like, hey, and then they don't have any restrictions on what you can play. Absolutely not. It's like, okay, so welcome to Dragonlance. It's like, you can play, you can play the orcs. They don't have orcs. Well, they do now. And it even says, like, okay, what about all the stuff that they don't have? It's like, well, you can just say they were dimension travelers. It's like, that's lazy. What are they going to do with hold on, let me see. Let's look up Dark Sun. Dead races. I'm sorry, extinct races. That's cleansed races. Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, the Dark Sun. Come on, Vaults. The Vaults of Pandius. This doesn't have any, let's see. Who's dead? Come on, where's the quickie stuff? Bill Slavichek work on that? Okay. I didn't realize Bill Slavichek worked on Dark Sun. Okay, that guy's amazing. Forget it. I'm trying to find the Dark Sun Extinct races, and yeah, they have a list on the Vaults of Pandius and it's been taken down. And it's just like, oh, here we go. Yes, here we go. Dark Sun X. Okay, the Cleansing Wars. There's no Asimir, Drow, Gnomes, Orcs, Tieflings, Kobolds, Ogres, Terrans, Paterans, Wimicks, Lizardmen, and I think they killed off the Goblins. Did they kill off the Goblins? I thought they killed off the Goblins. Well, everybody's dead. Yes, Goblins are extinct. So there's no Goblins. And what are you going to do? It's like they don't have all that stuff. Any chance I'll be doing more stuff with the BPL? God, I'd love to. I would absolutely love to do stuff with the BPL. I wanted to run G.I. Joe, but I couldn't find. We couldn't get a time schedule set. Like I feel bad because I don't. Like I go in there on occasion, and it's like try to hang out with them, and like I'd love to have a 9 to 5, but this job pays well, and I need the money. Like playing with Goat and Tex and all the rest. The guys that the guys that have helped me with my videos. Get some games going. I love my people friends. I mean, hell, some of you guys in this chat right now are Beeples. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, I'm just now. Okay, now let's break away from that. Yeah, okay. So yeah, they're gonna have to deal with the fact that Dark Sun has genocided half their races. They have to deal with the fact that can they make the Scions an actual class? Yeah, they've never done psychic rules right. Yeah. Yeah. I've actually done voice work for Tex before. Tex has done voice work on my channel. I did several videos years ago. So unfortunately, Tex didn't like Cyberpunk, and I was all into Cyberpunk. But he was the voice of Toll Booth for the He-Man cartoon we did. When we were doing his Cyberpunk live plays, I would break in and talk about stuff. They had me do the history of D&D from my point of view, which went over not too well with the official D&D Discord, because I consider the people that the harpies back from the Satanic Panic. I put them in the same vein as the ones that go through everything. It's like, okay, let me see what offends me now. Okay, I found this offensive. It's like, this is offensive to these people, so you have to get rid of it, because otherwise, I will complain that you're offending me, and if you're not offending me, you're offending somebody else, and I will be offended in their place. But wizards could have the talent. They can hire people. I mean, they can easily, we went from, what was left of TSR with the people there, and they brought in some really good people for D&D 3rd edition. It's not like they're locked into being bad. They can absolutely, go out and say, hey, these people lost us money. We got to get, we can absolutely go out and hire new people. It's like, and take my, take the advice I give about, how to do real world cultures. Because if you focus on your real world cultures on, like I said, the folklore and the heroes, people will grab that up. Especially especially for the foreign markets. You're walking by, you're in Hawaii or you're in Tahiti, and you're looking through a book, and all of a sudden, there is the Polynesian woman with the spear fighting the piggy boys by herself, looking badass. It's like, yeah, I want this. I absolutely want this. I'm fine. How you doing, Samurai? Meow. Meow. Do you want scritches? Let's see if he wants scritches. This means come here and I'll give you scritches. No, family's not here. The pet's not liking it. So yeah, they said it's like calling people out for, the people that, are going through, and the sensitivity readers are stamping out, racism and sexism and homophobia. Is like, are they stamping it out, or are they just looking for it? Because that's an entirely different thing. Like, if I'm going through something and trying to find explicit mentions, that's one thing. If I'm going through it cherry picking for things that you think are wrong, that's being puritanical. That's your congratulations. You are doing the 2026 version of playing rock music backwards to hear the horrible stuff. Yeah. So they're looking for things to be offended by, because they're being paid to look for things to be offended by. Yeah, just because you can't handle steak doesn't mean the rest of us are consigned to pablum. Hasbro wants people to give them money. But the one issue Hasbro has is they started going into video games, and they stopped being a toy company. So you go in and you're like, okay, I'm looking for a G.I. Joe. It's like, well, we're working on a G.I. Joe video game. It's like, I don't want a G.I. Joe video game. You were like, well, we don't want these people to do, the adults buying all the toys. It's like, okay, but then make toys for kids. Kids still want to play with their action figures. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. Gabriel Iglesias. Oh God, that guy is funny. And yes, the oh my God, Speedy Gonzalez is offensive to Mexicans. Did you ask any Mexicans about that? Was it Pepe Le Pew is offensive because he is such a horn dog? Well, what if the French lady skunks are horn dogs too? I mean, yeah, you're seeing Pepe Le Pew being a horn dog, but what if that's just a French skunk thing? It's like, you get a male French skunk and a female French skunk together, and you got to blur the camera. So there's not you're looking for something to be offended by. I've always hated censorship. Granted, there's the people who say, well, if you're going to be, well, if you're going to ban a book, first I want to see an 80-page explanation of why this book needs to be banned or why it's not suitable for kids. And say, where do I give my dissertation for Great Expectations? All right, I've got it right here. It's proved. It's peer reviewed. Where do I give my little thesis on why Great Expectations is one of the worst books to give students to study? Oh my God. I I don't know if he was based on. I don't know if Pepe Le Pew was based on somebody specific, but that was just something I was thinking about one day. It's like, well, he is offensive because he's always grabbing women. It's like, well, he's grabbing women that he thinks are French skunks. So what if the French skunk lady is going to be just as clingy back? Show us the guy skunk being chased by the female skunk, and then have her meet Pepe, and then it's like love at first French skunk sight. God, you're trying to get offended. You're trying to be like it gives you power. It gives you authority over people. It's like, you can't read that because I don't like it. Okay, well, if you don't like it, why are you reading it? It's like, well, it's not inclusive enough. It's like, okay, you're mandating that we put certain races in these books because you want them in there. So if you make them mandatory, isn't that just tokenism? Okay, everybody, we're going to put 10 NPCs in this book, and one of them has to be black. Okay. So we have 9 NPCs that we can actually write, and one that that we're assigned. Okay, so what if we make the token minority? You can't say anything bad about them. They can't be the villain. They can't have any flaws because that would be offensive to them. Okay, that's not a character. That's a that's a stereotype. I think I went. Come on, Pepe is. Yeah, but everybody's. Pepe was. He was Warner Brothers. He was meant to be. He wasn't supposed to be perfect. There was only 2 non-offensive characters in Warner Brothers cartoons: Porky Pig and the Roadrunner. Everybody else had, would say or do something that would just be horrifically offensive at some point, or just utterly violent, or character flaws. Porky and the Roadrunner were the straight men. Their job was to react to the insanity that everybody else was going through. So, we want to do Wizards. We want Wizards of the Coast to keep Mystara fresh in the spotlight. We don't want them to screw it up. But we don't want them to modernize it. Jason Newell. Actually, we were me and the wife were working on a pseudo Addams Family follow up, and we were joking about one of the characters. We're trying to avoid a Mary Sue. It's like, what if one of the characters was a Mary Sue and he knew it? So we made Trelawney, who was his biggest character flaw was he suffered from ennui, because he was flawless in the storyline, and he knew it. Let's say, Mother, Father, I'm suffering from crippling crippling ennui again. It's like I went to the basketball game and I was trying to lose it. So I shot everything offhand, and I looked over. I didn't even look at the basket, and I discovered that I was left-handed because I scored 50 points. It's so depressing being perfect all the time. Everybody has such high standards that I can't even fail to not to live up to. Ennui, sorry, yeah, it's French. So, Mother, Father, I have crippling ennui. What do you do if you're a cosmic Mary Sue, but you know it, and you feel bad because you make everybody else feel inferior? Kind of like playing what was it? Fallout New Vegas. I'm sitting there going, honey, Boone's making me feel obsolete again, or Boone's making me feel inadequate. And Wizards of the Coast. Wizards. Well, that's the thing is they've stolen so much from Mystara it shouldn't be hard to say, hey, can we actually use the stuff that you've converted over? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, look, we have Spanish orcs. We had Spanish orcs. Like, we had look, it's dogmen. We have dogmen. Yeah, I have a list of the video game characters that make me feel the most inadequate. Garrus Vicarian #1, but at least he's nice. At least he has a great personality to be around, rather than listening to Boo and it's like, my wife's dead, they're all going to die. Like, Garrus is like, hey Shepard, let's go have some fun. You know, it's like we're gonna go gun down Reapers. You know, it's like I'll do all the shooting, you do all the talking, and put the buttons. It's like they stole our Nagpa, they stole our Majin, they stole our. Oh, let me see. What was it? God, I need a new hard drive. I have a Frankenstein computer, and the local disk is ancient, and it was huge when I put it in. That was 10, 15 years ago. Let me see. Modules. What else did they steal from us? They have. I got it because I have some things on the DM's Guild, and they make me about $10 a month, so I get stuff. The Tortle package. Remember that one? That was when they say, "Hey, we like Tortles. Look, Tortles were always in the Forgotten Realms. Tortles started in the Forgotten Realms." That's everything they do. Let me see. So they came up with the Tortle package, a Tomb of Annihilation supplement, because that's the one thing we think of when we go to the Tomb of Annihilations is turtle people. But then, okay. Look at all the stuff they stole. Let me see if I can share my screen with you people. Let me see. Display capture. God, I suck at this. Window capture. Add a new window capture. Here we go. Is this it? Yes. Yes, it is. Let me see. Is that going to show me? Hold on. I am discovering new things. Okay. Well, how do I do the scene transition? Okay, got it. No, I was like, I didn't realize they had stolen so many of these things. Controls. All right. All right. What's going on here? Yeah, stop. God, I suck at this. One day I'll read the instructions. Yeah. What game is the spiritual successor to Back Me? Hate to say it, it's Arcanum all the way back. Well, they love their Tabaxi, even though the Tabaxi are Jaguars, while all of ours are. Oh, come on, people. Okay, is this showing up? It should be showing up. Well, okay, so it is showing us. Okay, I've got a delay here. It's not showing. Yeah, they have the Decapus. Okay, so yeah, that's in the Tortle package. And then, let me see. After the Tortle package, let me see. Scroll down. Here's our Geonid and our Topi. Yep, they got those. Let me see. What else what else do they have? Do they have anything else? Did they steal anything else from us? Tortles. Nope. Okay, so look at all those Tortles. Yeah. So yeah, they so okay. So I didn't realize that it showed up. They took our Decapus, they took our Topi, they took our Geonid, they took our Tortle. Yeah, the Decapus was... It was for low-level parties, but it's got 9 attacks that do D6 damage each. Yeah, that's a great way to do a TPK. So that's 3. That's 4 in that book that they took from us. The Nightwalker, though the Nightwalker they took from us in 3rd. Yeah, and the Choker appears in. I know the Choker is in the Creature Crucible, but I thought it made its appearance in the Dwarves of Rockholm. And then so they've got the Nagpa, the Majin, the Nightwalker. Yeah, the Choker was ours. So yeah, they've taken quite a few of our things. It's like the Magan first appeared in Castle Amber, which is very Mystara. The Nagpa was Temple of Death, which is Sind, which is on the map. And just they like to take it. They've taken they've taken the Isle of Dread from us. But the Isle of Dread, the Isle of Dread is technically the start of Mystara. Where's X1? Here we go. Blue cover. And the blue cover Isle of Dread is absolutely, I think this is the one that's actually broken because you can't, there's an error in the map and you can't actually finish the dungeon because the one section of the dungeon isn't connected to the other sections of the dungeon. So they just forgot. And yeah, they stole this directly from Treasure Island. Instead of Billy Bones, it's like Barnabas or something. Oh, come on. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Yeah, go away, go away. Let's bring this back up. Window capture. I'm just having fun. Yeah. So, yeah, there was... there's the original map of Mystara going back in like the early 80s. And then if you scroll down all the maps, whereas they break down all of the nations in Mystara. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it. It's the first appearance of Karamikos. It's where everything gets named. There's the Rakasta. I'm surprised they haven't brought the Phanatons because those things are cute and cuddly. And yeah, here's the original pronunciation guides. Here's all of the original guide to the continental map. Yeah, it's like where's Ethengar? And yeah, so yeah, the Ethengar were Mongols even back then. Okay, enough of that. Go away. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, the Shadow Elves are now Shadar-kai because they have Shadow. Yeah. Let me see. They will bring back Mystara first because Birthright has mechanical problems that doesn't fit well. It's never fit well into D&D with time skips and stuff like that. Shadar-kai, the origins of the Shadar-kai depends on who's writing them. They were originally shadow-touched humans or shadow-touched elves. They flipped-flopped back and forth. Then they were just shadow humanoid creatures. Then they were touched by the Raven Queen and enslaved. And I think they're back to being shadow-touched elves. Their background is multiple choice. Let me see. They have not taken the Actaeons or the Chevals yet. I think Bruce put in the Chevals because he is French. They have claimed the Brain Collectors. The Brain Collectors were in 3.5's Stupid Hard Monsters book. Yeah, they have. I think they have stolen the Juggernaut from us. Let me see, what else do we got? Joey the Lemur? No. No, they are not Shadow Elves. Shadowcar have nothing to do with anything. And there was the 5th edition has the problem with, well, Raven Queen goes beyond 5th edition. I was saying that there's certain characters that they get obsessed over. And the Raven Queen was absolutely one of them. Because I think, wasn't that, correct me because I have not watched a single second of Critical Role. But I think that was an invention of Merle's. And then there's well, now we're going to make her this, and we're going to make her that, and she's going to be a Greyhawk goddess, but she was so good, and everybody loved her that like the god of death saw that she was better than him, so he just willingly turned over his powers to her. But then she got bored with the Greyhawk pantheon because they were just so boring. So she's screw you guys, I'm going over to Forgotten Realms where all the cool stuff happens. Wow, I am running really, really behind. Here we go. For whatever reason, OBS was putting a delay on me, so it was confusing me. Yeah, Bruce Hurd is fluent in French. They brought him in to actually translate the book into French, and said, "Hey, while you're here, would you like to, take over all the Mystara?" And so the Raven Queen has kind of fallen off because people were like, yeah, you don't have to shove her down our throats so much. But now it's Tasha. Like, okay. Oh, okay. So I didn't know the full story behind the Raven Queen, nor do I care. Let me see. And there's like in the running gag we have where the Raven Queen has a bitter blood feud with the Phil, the Spirit Lord of Putus, and nobody knows why they go steel cage match whenever they're in the same room together. But it's still funny as hell because Putus are funny as hell. If you ever want to look at a silly looking bird. Okay, so let me see. Like Copper Dragon, I wouldn't trust. Well, I wouldn't do. I wouldn't be doing the spiked baseball bat. I'm more of an edged weapons man. But it's like, okay, everybody, it's like, you're going to do Mystara right, or I'm going to have this 6-year-old boy that I'm teaching how to play the bagpipes serenade you with Inagata Devita. He's almost got it right. So, okay, okay, little Angus, show us what you've learned. Okay, guys, I'm going to be back in about an hour, so just, Angus, keep it on repeat until you get it right. Yeah, and so they have the but going back to what I was saying is like now somebody likes Tasha. They're going to redeem Tasha, and now she's the fairy queen. Meanwhile, the Greyhawk people are like, she's the mother of Ayus, she's the consort of Grazit, she's the mother of. Hold on, let me see. What was that girl's name? Drazit. Igwilf daughter. Igwilf. She's a very not nice person. And now she's an archfey. Which is funny because, let me see, what is it? She has a, oh, come on. Well, what the... Hold on. Let's find out. What is her daughter's name? No, it doesn't say what her daughter's name is. If anybody knows her daughter, please chime in now because I am drawing a blank. But she's also a Greyhawk character, so it's not my job to draw a blank. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Lost Cavern just show conf. Drelnza? Yeah, she's the daughter of Iglwilf. So yeah, so she's got two of the worst. She is literally the mother of demons. She's the mother of the Lord of Pain and Greyhawk. Yeah, Drelzna. So actually, I was talking with Joe Block, Greyhawk Grognard, and we were joking around about what they need to do with Greyhawk, with the company that's making Greyhawk now, is they're going to do he wants to do an adventure where you get called in to serve to help Tasha do something, and she's going to do this, and she's doing all the fairy stuff, and at the end you end up doing some horrible evil stuff. And it's revealed that Tasha was never actually a fairy queen. She was just playing along to lure people in, to corrupt them. And she's going back to, now she's all back to lovey-dovey on Grazit. And you've done some horrible, horrible stuff that you'll have to answer for. So she was never the fairy queen. And then she casts Tasha's uncontrollably hideous sister. And all the fun starts all over again. But yeah, they also won't give Mordenkainen his hair back. He always had this massive coif, and then one of the artists drew him as himself, and now Morty's has gone completely bald. Yeah. I hate bad writing. Oh. And then you're going to have to deal with, if you're going to do Mystara, you're going to have to deal with the Hollow World separately. You're going to have to deal with Red Steel separately. In the DMG, I went with the second incarnation of the Red Steel, so we're not with the superpowered Red Sand guys. But we're also not doing the empty stuff. Which was the problem with the module. If Wizards threw enough money at you, would you take on the project? Well, yeah, it's not like I got a lot to do. I've already got most of it written, and if they threw enough money at it, I could subcontract and get the right artists and stuff like that. I mean, who do you like more as an artist? Whoever's doing the pink pastel shit, or, the Greek guy that puts muscles on his muscles? Yeah, the Igwolf versus Tasha, that is one of the greatest arguments for the Greyhawk crowd. Yeah, it's like, if they wanted to hire me as a consultant, I can absolutely do it. It's like, I have, speaking from not just a fan base, but as somebody who's had to do publishing before, I understand what their restrictions are. I also understand what the fans are going to want. And those two are never going to come together. You don't have the space to include everybody. I mean, what do you leave out? If they give me 320 pages to write a Mystara book, what do you leave out? Because you can't put all of it in it. You showcase... You showcase... all the different nations, yeah. But they're going into real world analogies. That's the one thing, is they've been slowly creeping into real world cultures. They won't admit it, but they've been doing it. That caused a huge stir with the Vato orcs. That was actually one of the funniest things, is when the artist that drew the Vato orcs was trying to defend them. It was like, yeah, they've always been in D&D. It's like, So they're like the Krugel orcs from Mastara, which is from like the early '90s. It's like, yes, they are absolutely Krugel orcs. It's like, thank you for noticing that I drew Krugel orcs, which are a classic, D&D creature. And it's like, I appreciate you finding you noticing and recognizing what inspired me to draw the Vato orcs. And it's like, okay, two things. One, you're welcome, and two, did you know anything? Did you know the Krugel orcs even existed before I mentioned them? Okay, for the first part, yes, thank you very much. And two, no, I had no clue. So, Doggo Ichi's upset because the family's out. Let me see. Blackmore would be, I don't know. Well, yeah, the old Blackmore proposed reborn idea. I know Wizards couldn't touch Blackmore. They would absolutely not touch Blackmore because rights issues. But you'd have to. What time in the Blackmore period? Are you going after King Uther, or are you going Star Trek Blackmore? Let me see. Yes, Wizards has gotten rid of a lot of the power players, or at least the higher ups. And from what I've been told from the people I know, they seem to be the ones that were holding a lot of the game back. I think it was Perkins that wanted to keep D&D PG. He didn't like exposed ankles. He didn't like exposed knees. He did not like absolutely no shoulders. And so now that he's gone, Dark Sun. Let me see. No, I don't remember the Japanese hobgoblins. Yeah. Why didn't Blackmore get pulled into the Hollow World? They explained that because there was no time. Ka was like, okay, we're going to put dinosaurs here. We're going to put a floating island here. We're going to put, these dying off ogres here. What's going to happen with Blackmore? And there's a giant mushroom cloud where Blackmore used to be the size of Europe. Okay, so what do we got left on Blackmore? We've got some elves. That's all we've got. It says that Blackmore was gone so fast that the Immortals never had time to react. They didn't even believe what they were seeing when it happened. He's like, I have some hope that the new people that they're bringing in are helping to right the ship. I do think that there's some bean counter that said, hey, we were making money, then we stopped making money, we need to go back to making money. Why are people not buying our books? Let's ask somebody why they're not doing it. I think Crawford's gay. I don't know if Perkins is gay. I think Crawford's the gay one. And that was that was something that people had pointed out he was one of the guys that was they started to notice that every game had to have every book you had to have somebody gay in there. Again, tokenization. I have a lot of comments on Diamond Distributors going Chapter 7. None of them good. I can talk for quite a while about it. The Diamond did some very, very bad stuff. I see shades of TSR with their shenanigans with Random House. And they screwed over a lot of people. Actually, it was in the news the other day that they had they came to a settlement with 12 different game companies to pay out some money to them that they owed them. But it was $667,000 between 12 game companies that they owed millions to each. And they owe $140 million to their bank. Was it J.P. Morgan? And J.P. Morgan has the best lawyers of everybody involved in this, so they get their money first. So all those companies that got swindled out of all that money are going to... They probably have a lawsuit. Well, they don't have a lawsuit because they filed Chapter 7. Who are you going to sue? Plus, you're chasing money that doesn't exist anymore. Like they were cooking the books. That's all they were doing. And the problem is all these game companies that had exclusive contracts, so they can only go through this one distributor. They had nothing to fall back on. I've seen this happen before, and not on this scale, but there's a lot. Like, who's going to buy out Diamond? Because when War Games West went out, Alliance bought them out. So they were able to soften the blow. Diamond got greedy. Diamond tried to go beyond their what their capacity was going to be. Diamond blew up, and they're taking everybody that was attached to them down. I don't think Paizo is ever going to recover. I don't think most of the companies that are involved in this. Paizo is down $2-3 million, according to what their math said. And they're getting 1/12 of $667,000. The problem is not that no one can sue Diamond. The problem is Diamond owes more money than they physically have. And the person that they owe the most money to... Hold on. I just had a screen go bop. All right, am I still talking? Yes. Okay, here we go. All right, had a little glitch. All right, but I'm back. They owe more money than they... okay, take care, Steven. They owe more money than they physically have. They owe a shitload of money to the bank. And... They have to pay the money. They have to pay the money, apparently, in order of whoever they owe the most to. Everybody gets a percentage back. The problem is they're going to get a small percentage of whatever they do. So if they all get 10% back of just throw out a number. J.P. Morgan, they owe $140 million to. So they get $14 million. They take a massive hit. Okay, they can probably survive it. That's a multi-billion-dollar company. It's going to hurt, and they're going to go after everything. Paizo is going to get $200,000 back. So they're not a multi-million-dollar company. They would have lost about $2 million in revenue of stuff that they can't sell that they've already bought. Yeah, it's bad, and they've declared Chapter 7. So, and the guy that's running the Chapter 7, which is an independent special master appointed by the courts, which is normal in a bankruptcy case. He's the one that found the little bit of money for the 12 game companies. Yeah, the problem is, and yeah, I'm trying to explain this as best I can. I've been following this, but it's corporate bankruptcy law, so it's complicated. The contract they had meant that in case of bankruptcy, all of the inventory they have is locked down because it's considered part of their assets. And then everybody gets a portion of what money the guy can get out of it. But it's again based on the people that they owe the most money to are considered the biggest victims. And that would be the bank that they kept borrowing money from until they couldn't pay back the bank loans. If Paizo could get their inventory back, they might be able to find it. But the biggest problem they had is they were an exclusive distribution contract with Diamond. So they couldn't go to Alliance. They couldn't go to any of the regionals. They had to go through Diamond. When Diamond went down, they had no backups. They had nobody else they could go through. The bank is trying to get whatever. Yeah, the bank is trying to get whatever they can for the inventory and the assets and everything else. But again, they owe more money than they physically have. If J.P. Morgan came in today and the special master, the court-appointed guy, gave them the keys to Diamond and said, everything in here is now yours, they would still be losing tens of millions of dollars. And everybody else would get nothing. There's not enough money to pay back everybody. Yeah. Comics Beat website. Okay, I haven't seen that one. I just saw the article in Bleeding Cool or Bleeding Fool today that was explaining that. The question is the damage already done? That's the other thing. Is it's a very crowded RPG market right now, and Paizo, like blipped out. They're going to blip back. Is there going to be room for them coming back? You can't put a URL in YouTube chat. That's their rules. And it's complicated. Diamond really screwed up. I mean, it's not on par with Enron, but it's along the same lines. Borrow more than you can physically pay back. Play math games to hide it, and hope you don't get caught for as long as you can. Yeah, I haven't seen the. Oh, there's always too many RPGs out there. There's always a glut. The good ones thrive, and the small ones end up on my channel with me saying funny things about them, about why these fell apart and why nobody plays them anymore. Especially today, age of digital. Anybody can make an RPG. Just have a just digital art and shit. The AI arts made it even worse. I mean, what was one of the biggest complaints about the drive-through RPG is everything's fucking AI. People are just like, okay, just give me here's a bunch of prompts. Write me an AI RPG. And it's the problem is there's only so much money you're going to make. There's only so much money that people are going to spend on RPGs, and you're not gonna get rich unless you do something horribly right. You catch a niche, you catch the right. You come up with a new concept that hasn't been done before, and that gets harder every year, and you do it at the right time when the big boys are struggling. The people don't really have to buy much of the AI slop because the cost to make it is next to nothing. But apparently enough people are that it's still viable. And that was when I was researching in my last video. That was something I got told by a lot of people on the DMs Guild. It's like, I mean, people are putting stuff up there that's obvious AI slop or obvious repost. That's why are you buying this? Hold on, let me see. DMs Guild. Let me see if I can bring this up. Okay. This will make you angry if I can get it to show up. You go away. Let me see. Is it screen capture? Nope, 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 no. Video capture device. Scene, media. Display. Okay. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay. God, I wish I knew how this magic electronic voice works. Okay, never mind. Not gonna worry about it. The Savage Coast campaign book is a silver bestseller on Dungeon Masters Guild. They are selling it for $10. Okay? You can go over right now to the Vault of Pandius and download that for free. So somebody took that, a free source book, put it on the DMG, and sold at least 1,000 copies of it. And that was just... So, yeah, there's people buying the scams. There's evidence that people are buying the scams. Let me see. Winona's Big Brown Beaver. Yeah, but Primus Winona is spelled with a Y. Yeah, Matt Colville was a game designer before he was a YouTuber. And yeah, you get the people that do the YouTube channel, and they're making their own merch. Speaking of merch, if I actually make T-shirts, I've been talking about this with a friend of mine here. If I start making T-shirts with like Rubus art on it or Hershey art, the good stuff, would you guys be interested in that? Because I would like to know. I'm gonna have to get out of here in a few minutes because the animals are starting to look at me with murderous intent. It is well past their feeding time. Though Samurai is happy. Samurai's always happy. Samurai is best cat. We're trying to get Samurai healthy again. We don't know what's wrong with him. And that was one of the reasons why we have been spending a lot of the money from my paycheck on this cat, because we've had him for 13 years. And he is the official greeter. And I can't get him on camera because he doesn't like to be picked up. He'll sit in your lap, but he won't, he won't, he's camera shy. Isn't that right, Samurai? So yeah, that's yeah, Paizo. I don't know if Paizo's going to survive. Paizo took a massive hit. They laid off 40 of their staff, which for an RPG company, especially one of that size, that's a mess. That is actually, yes, the Halfling Slayer, the Kara Kara fight scene, Bargle and the Baron. Let me see, what other art? Do you want to remember? Hold on, let me see if I can get Samurai up here. Come here, Shama. Oh, no, he just went butt scritches. You just went butt scritches. Come on. Okay, no, he's playing hard to get. You see, what was the art we were looking for? Rubus. So much Rubus art. He is getting harder and harder to commission art from because he is very, very popular. And he is very, very successful, which is, you know, I can't knock him for that. I mean, come on, you know, it's like you've seen his art, you know what it looks like, and you know he's getting paid. He's getting paid what he's worth, and he's like, I got him when he was, you know, like up and coming, and you know he still does stuff for me because we're friends, but you know, it's like trying to hold on to your, you know, you're a small market baseball team and you're trying to hold on to your all-star, and So yeah, okay, here we go. So that's the first one. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Are we? Come on. There we go. Sorry, I'm still fighting. Yeah, what a problem for an artist when you get successful. It's not a problem for the artist, it's a problem for the person that wants to buy the art. Okay, so yes, this is the first Mastara art. Okay, let me see opinions on the next ones. See, this is one of the pieces of art from Rick that I didn't like. So we dropped that one. That one did not make the book. This is the original Morgan Ironwolf art, and you can obviously tell it's a Photoshop. And then there was Blix. That's Blix in the corner. It was a Thule, but they very obviously made the Thule's. They stole the Thule design from Legend. I'm getting the hang of this tracheotomy thing. Let me see. There's the the grim dark darkness of the grim dark 90s. Yeah, that might probably be on a coffee mug. I like my coffee like I like my women, cold and bitter. Let me see. What do I think of the current WotC skin suit stuff? Trying to do a 180 with the Dark Sun and Greyhawk. Greyhawk, they're throwing it to Luke Gygax because everybody knows they pissed off all of us with insulting Gary. And I know Luke. Luke's competent. Luke knows what he's doing. So I have faith in Luke. I'm not too sold on the Dark Sun. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the boobies on this, but I do have a PG version of this one. As in, no blood and no boobies, but still 3 impalements and a beheading. Let me see. Okay, so what else do we have? So that's so we got the Kara Kara scene. We've got possibly the Morgan Ironwolf scene, though it's terribly photoshopped. It's not terrible, but it's just obviously photoshopped. Let me see what else is that. Nobody wants to do the. See, this was the original Misha of the. Oh, can't show that because she did a different scale. So let's get that off. Yeah, here's the Serene picture. The problem with that one is the Mastara logo is going to go right over where that city is. So that's why I can't do it on the. That's why I can't do that as the front cover. It was chapter art to begin with. Let me see what else is there. No. So that's from the first one, and then you have the smaller pictures like there's Morgan with Into Ifthil down, but this is going to be this wouldn't be like the full shirt. This would just be the front page or the like a bar. There's oh, can't show that. I can't show all of that one because the scale's off. All's Reckless Day, the Gladiators. There we go. That was Rubus's. Rubus sent me this instead of having all the Gladiators standing up going, "For those about to die, we salute you." He said, that was boring. This one's better. And he was right. Oh my God, he was right. And if you look up in the if you look up at the was it directly above the gladiator holding the guy with the 2 axes at sword point, if you look up straight from her head, yeah, there's a chick copping a feel on another chick. Rubus snuck that in. I didn't notice. And then somebody had a problem with this one because the gladiator holding the axe guy at sword point, there's a side boob. You can see a bloody nipple. Also, Rubus made a point of having the Greek up front and being the most victorious. Yeah. He's just a little bit of a artist bias. Let me see. Da, 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 da. I thought we had more than that. Where's the... Misha does a different scale, so I can't show you hers clean. Let me see. Where's the other art? Yeah, scroll down. Here we go. This is another piece that might be t-shirt worthy. And if you like them, tell me which ones you like for the t-shirt. This is it's a little zoomed in, but this is Thin Call storming the no, I haven't shown the Karakara yet. So this one is Thin Call storming into the recently deceased emperor's chambers with the Alphatian wizard standing over him with an army of soldiers and gladiators directly behind him. And by sheer coincidence, two of those gladiators that are behind him, the Minotaur was actually from a Mastara it was a Mastara book that talked about there was a Minotaur gladiator that took part on it. So by sheer coincidence, he put a Minotaur in the art. And under his arm, you can see a female, and that is people have decided that is the Duchess that runs the resort with the mists that entrance people, because she was also part of it. But yes, that's young Thin Call, and he later draws old Thin Call. Well, no, Brian Sam draws old Thin Call. Okay, so let's get... Oh, I was going to do this for like 10, 15 minutes. It's almost 2 hours. Oh, well, when you got a lot to say, you got a lot to say. Let me see. Here's the Odin piece. This is the one where the Alina being brought back to life looked terrible no matter who drew it. So we went with Odin, with Ulfdan Bjornsson, damming a river with dead goblins. And despite what everybody says, I made this guy up in like 5 minutes because I needed him for a story. He was not a character. He was never a character. We just wanted a werebear with a warhammer going full on Sauron against goblins. I think that would make a nice t-shirt. Let me see, who else do we got? Oh, of course, I don't know if this one's going to look. Oh wait, that's a whip. I didn't realize I still had that. Where's the final version? Here we go. That's much gooder. And that's not... Okay, that's too big for the screen. Okay, so forget about that. Let's go to the DMG art. I think this is going to be too big as well. Nope, this is... Here we go. This is... You can't see all of it, but this is the cover of the DMG. That is to a dragon and a drolem going through a castle while Duchess and Candela escape out the back. Let me see. Yeah, the Morgan Ironwolf and the only problem I have with the Morgan Ironwolf and the party, at least on the internet, is I'm having a serious problem with some of the scale on this art because it's too big for the it's too big for the video. Okay, so here is the Baron and his family having a nice breakfast with a former associate. Originally, we wanted to have a picture of Eric, and he said that would have been too crowded. He didn't give the Baron a beard in this one. And the original one, he was spewing up vomit, and everybody else like, could you please draw something other than vomit? Please. It's like, we love your art, but that's a little much. And let me see. So yeah, you know, like there's Otto in the middle, Amelia on the end, the Baron, Sophia, and Frederick. Pretend, you know, like making fun of the dead guy and everybody laughing at this, you know, the middle son's face. Duchess is the brunette. Candela is the blonde. We have had multiple arguments over that over the years, and I think somebody from TSR finally broke down and says, okay, no, Duchess is the brunette. Now here is Elsie Freitas's first piece of art for the book. This is, you know, the Eureka, which is my shot in Clyde Caldwell's War on Pants, which is the Etruscan woman off of the cover of the Etruscan book, obviously buying pants in the exact outfit she was in on the cover of the Etruscan book. Yeah. Let me see. What else do we got? I'm looking for the. I'm looking for the Caracar. It's in here somewhere. It better be. I paid for it. March of the Fae, which is cut off, but this has, you can't see Robin Goodfellow, but this is all of the Archfey that we wrote. We still need to. I've done Oberon, I've done Gwyn ap Nuth, I've done Nyx. There's Ariel, which there's 4 Ariels in D&D. There's Gilly Doo, the Treeman, except for when he's not in the Good Kingdom, he looks like a dwarf. Breg Bethel, which is very obviously Sean Connery. The red one is Krethilev, and then you've got Titania, the Oberon's wife, who will destroy you if you make her jealous. Which, guess what her husband's favorite hobby is? So there's that. Oh, here's the Caracara, and of course it's way too large. This is I actually have a shirt of this one already made. Yeah, this is the probably some of the most iconic art, because everybody was like, you can't show Drums on Fire Mountain. The pig orcs with the afros are racist. Okay, well, we've replaced all of them with piggy orcs that are based heavily on the movie Predator. And is that better? It's like, well, it's still racist. How is it racist? The 2 main characters in here. Let me see. Can I do anything with this? No, I don't want to do that. Can I move this up or down? No. No, don't do that. What did I just do? Okay, I just did something wrong. Okay, alright, something's going on. Something went wrong in the background. Okay, so enough of that. Let me see if I can find anything else. Okay, whatever I did, I've undone it, I think. I don't know. I don't care. So there was the Piggy Boys. The rest of them I don't think are really going to be... oh, here we go. This is... the Princess Arc fighting Princess Arc fighting Nautiloids that have broken through the barrier. Oh, you think the center orc is going off Major Predator vibes? The one in the lower right that you can't see is, well, you can check out all this art on Free Mystara in the art gallery. But yeah, the one in the lower right has got like a skull strapped to his arm, and he's got the predator claws. It is absolutely. Like, he handed me back that art. He's like, "Were you watching Predator when you were were you watching Predator when you drew this?" It's like, I might have been binging all of them. Yeah, I noticed. But it's considered some of the best you've got. It's considered that. But yeah, we wanted to have put the Princess Arc in there, and he's like fighting the Nautiloids, and there was one more that was exploding and burning in the background, and he told me that the translucent sky worm that surrounds it was not going to work. Absolutely was not going to look good, so we dropped that. Let me see if there's anything else. It is late. Nope. Oh, okay. Before I wrap this up, here is one more. This is the Treasure Hoard. This is actually a follow-up piece of art to the party charging the Master, and here they are in the Master's treasure room. And it's like a lot of little inside jokes. This was my original D&D party back when I ran it, like back in the 80s. But yeah, it's there was actually more people in that, but we can't show all of them. But yeah, there's Morgan looking, at the chest. There's Keegan of the shield carrying the chest. Skex's strange hat. It's like, Rubus did that hat better than anybody else. He's inspecting the gems. Tarla, the rich, snooty Glantrian is checking out the gems over there. And there's Ogren and Halverick in the back. Halverick is only 5 foot tall, so if you will notice, he's standing on the treasure chest. So, yeah, I'm working on the ship-to-ship combat. Yes, the Master of Hool is on the front cover of the D&D, or the Mystara Player's Guide. And Ravenclaw, yes, Mystara was actually part of Spelljammer. Little known fact, Champions of Mystara, the box set, they put Mystara in their own little crystal sphere. The problem is the people that wanted to do Mystara did not want to include it in Spelljammer, but they were ordered to. So they looked it up, and through, the malicious non-compliance, they changed the rules of the Mystara crystal sphere so that it was airless and freezing. So if you got there on a Spelljammer, you would suffocate and die. And they knew what they were doing. They didn't care, and they did it anyways. So yes, Mystara is actually part of Spelljammer, though not the way they wanted it to be. Yes, they're charging the Master on the front, looting the treasure on the back. So yeah, that's all the arts. And if you want some of these on a t-shirts, tell me which ones you like, and because I think I can get 5 of them, and I can put that on Free Mystara, and then we can add more later. Okay, guys, I have been talking for over 2 hours on a video that was supposed to take 15 minutes, but I had a lot to talk about. I will. All of the art that I just showed you, you can go over and check it out on Free Mystara and in the art gallery section. You can actually see all of it, and there's so much more. But yeah, let me know, and I live and die on feedback. And if you're bored, and you want to try out some of the playtests, I need the domain rules playtested. Need the domain rules, and I need the new caravan rules. So, thanks for everybody. I will go get something to eat. I will make sure that the pets have something to eat. All right, I will talk to you later. And if you see them asking anything about what D&D setting you like on X or Blue Sky or, I don't know, the new MySpace when they bring that back, spam them with Mystara. Okay, guys. Well, I'll take care, everybody. I'm glad I actually got this one done. Yeah, the new domains, we actually, they're called domins. It's domains. D-E-M-E-N-S-E. It's spelled domain, but it's domain with an E at the front. And it's like the Bastion rules, but useful. It's French. That's why I couldn't use domain, because cleric domains. So we had to come up with something different. Anyways, take care, guys. I am going to go blow stuff up and eat. And probably feed the critters before they start eating each other. Alright, how do I get out of here?